We have to wait for a crash, or it is something like a time bomb ticking.
The time bomb is ticking. 6 minutes to impact. Kazakh 1907 contacts VK Data for the first time. He assigns them 15,000 feet.
Descend to flight level 150, report reaching.
Descend in 150.
The radio operator acknowledges the height, but astonishingly does not inform the two pilots. Worse still, the navigator also hears the assigned flight level on his headset. He is heard converting it to meters for the two pilots, but neither of them acknowledges the assigned height. This is the second mistake, the second link to disaster.
My personal view is that there was confusion with the pilots about what their cleared altitude was. There may have been some language difficulties.
The pilot and co-pilot's knowledge of English is limited. The radio operator is translating all commands from the Delhi Air Traffic Control for them.
Pilot flies, gets the information, directly makes a lot of difference. The reactions are spontaneous, instantaneous.
Saudi 763 approaching flight level 100 for her. Roger, flight level 140. Further climb 140, Saudi 763.
2 minutes to impact. Kazakh 1907 is gradually descending. It's now at about 16,000 feet. Captain Cherepenov, the pilot who is not flying, is supposed to inform the cockpit crew of the estimated time and height to level out. He never does. This is the third link to the disaster.
He was the captain of the aircraft, he's the commander of the ship, so he should have known what height to be leveled out.
1.5 minutes to impact. Saudi 763 is told to stay at 14,000 feet till further notice. 1 minute to impact. At 6:39 p.m., the Kazakh radio operator tells VK Data they are at 15,000 feet.
Now it is 150.
This is another extraordinary error. In reality, they are at 16,300 feet. The altimeter is on the front instrument console. The radio operator may not have seen it. This is the fourth link to the disaster. Seconds before impact, VK Data tells Kazakh 1907 about Saudi 763 in front of them.
747 at
10 miles, set across another 5 miles.
report in sight.
Kazakh 1907 is already below 15,000 feet. By the time he completes the transmission with the radio operator of Kazakh 1907, the aircraft is at 14,500 feet. Gradually descending, it enters into a cloud layer. Saudi 763, at 14,000 feet, enters the same cloud layer. The first signs of trouble are heard in the Kazakh cockpit. The captain asks for the assigned flight level for the first time.
Flight level have been ordered.
Kazakh 1907 is still descending, now at about 14,100 feet. Saudi 763 is at 14,000 feet. Seconds later, the two aircraft are going to crash. Even in these circumstances, with better equipment, the impending collision could have been averted. But SSR, or secondary surveillance radar, that can tell a controller the altitude of an aircraft is not installed in the Delhi Air Traffic Control. The controllers still work on archaic primary radar that can only tell them approximate headings. This means that VK Data was not aware of Kazakh 1907's unauthorized descent.
Saudi 763.
The secondary surveillance radar had been in the offing, but mired in bureaucracy, the project lay to one side.
There are too many channels to go through, hurdles to cross, so these things take time.
The fifth link to the collision is complete. Seven seconds before impact, a tragic sequence of events unfolds in the Kazakh cockpit. The flight engineer realizes that the aircraft has descended below 15,000 feet, their assigned flight level. He probably tries to accelerate to climb, but the captain asks him to hold on and not to accelerate. The flight engineer responds by calling out, "Holding."
What I feel has happened at that point of time is that the engineer has realized that the aircraft has gone below 150. He has started opening power, anticipating the next moment I will get a call for climbing or accelerating. But the captain is not yet sure, or maybe he's made a gesture to the flight engineer that hold the power.
Kazakh 1907 holds its course. It keeps descending. Seconds later, it will collide with Saudi 763 at 14,000 feet. But even now, there is a last resort. The pilots of Kazakhstan Airlines 1907 don't know that their assigned altitude is 15,000 feet.
What flight level have you been ordered?
The air traffic controller can't warn them. He doesn't have secondary surveillance radar. There is a last resort. But neither of the aircraft has TCAS, traffic collision avoidance systems, installed. They do not have onboard computers that can...
which is sufficient in most cases to avoid collisions.
But the Civil Aviation Ministry never made TCAS mandatory over Indian airspace by 1996. It took India a mid-air collision to implement these systems. The sixth and the final link to the collision is complete. 2 seconds to impact. Saudi 763 is at 14,000 feet. Kazakh 1907 is at about 14,000 feet. The radio operator shouts out a warning. The captain asks for full power. If only he hadn't. Kazakh 1907 would have passed safely below Saudi 763, but it's too late. The flight engineer opens full power on all engines. Kazakh 1907 accelerates to climb to 15,000 feet. There's chaos in the cockpit. Everyone's screaming. They have just seen Saudi 763 coming towards them.